Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Road Atlanta for a very weird race that probably would not work in real life. We have a multi-class single-seater race. Not many drivers, but and only two classes, but still it will prove to be quite an interesting race. So, in the 1968 Formula 2 class, so I've gone full-blown random for this, we have Parker Pennington and Walter Crankshaw. Interestingly, Pennington has a rear wing and Crankshaw doesn't. As well, Pennington has a front wing too. So we'll have to see how that affects the cars around this track and if there's a clear difference in terms of actual speed. I can assume that Crankshaw will be faster in a straight line and yet Pennington will be faster around the corners. So that will be interesting to see. In the F1 1992 class, we had 91 last week. Now we're going up a year to 92. We have Ivan Capelli in the Ferrari, Bertrand Gachot in the Venturi. I believe that's a is it a La Race? I think it's a La Race. Actually, I can check that. It is, yeah, it's a Venturi Lamborghini. So then we have Nigel Mansell in the Williams, Yukio Katayama also in the Venturi, Riccardo Patrese also in the Williams, and Gianni Morbidelli in the Minardi. Finally, there is Jean Alesi in the other Ferrari to bring up the field. So, first is going to be a 10-minute qualifying session, and then we are going to go into the race. So only 9 drivers in this one, but it should be an interesting one nonetheless, because this is such an unusual combination of drivers, of cars rather. I mean, multi-class single-seater racing is pretty much non-existent, apart from in this. So to have such different single-seaters as well, with a Formula 2 car from a very different era to these Formula 1 cars, it should certainly be an interesting one. I hope there's not too much carnage and chaos at the start. After all, we do only have 2 Formula 2 cars, so I hope that we actually get some finishes there. Right, so the green light has come on. We're just waiting for our first drivers to go out onto the track. So I don't know who's going to be first out. I hear an engine. It's going to be Nigel Mansell in the Williams. So Nigel Mansell in the Williams makes his way out onto the circuit. Also, whoa! My word! There's a big bump there that he didn't realise was there, isn't there? I mean, right, let me go back. Oh, I've got no replay. How do I? Now, there is a way I can turn the replay on, but I have no idea how it is. Fabian will know if you're watching now. Oh, never mind. Okay, so obviously some kind of bump there. Also, Walter Crankshaw is going out. Let's see if he's affected as well by the bump. Nope. Okay. Oh, but he has a big slide anyway. Okay, so the pit exit is going to be one place to look out for. Obviously, oh dear, Mansell gets wobbly over the curbs. This is painful to watch. These AI, of course, all of these drivers are AIs. So this is a computer-generated race, and obviously the track that we're at today is a bit of an interesting one when it comes to AI control. So this could be a very entertaining one to watch, to say the least. How's Crankshaw doing? Still got all 4 wheels on the car there. But anyway, I'm going to watch Nigel Mansell first, because he's going to be the first guy across the line. So therefore, hopefully, unless something goes dreadfully wrong, the first guy to set a lap. So let's see what happens. So, through turn 11, very blind, fast corner. And then at turn 12, an even faster final corner, taken completely flat in a Formula 1 car. As you see the other Williams of Riccardo Patrese making his way out of the pits, almost hitting Mansell and then spinning. I think it'll be pretty customary for AI 91 cars to spin there. But anyway, Nigel Mansell just making his way through the S's for the first time, clipping the curbs a bit, but everything's fine so far. Locks up, but we saw him doing that on the out lap as well. Now down towards turns 6 and 7 at the top of the hill. Oh, big kick! This is amazing to watch. Big kick of oversteer, but he's fine. And now out and down the back straight. Interestingly, these 2 little kinks that you've just seen, or that you'll see in the straight, do count as corners, despite the fact some of the corners in the S's don't. So I'm quite confused as to what actually counts as a corner or not. And I believe these two corners here, the chicane, actually count as 10A and 10B. So an unusual corner naming system to get your head around with Red Atlanta. But anyway, Nigel Mansell is going to be the first guy across the line, and his lap was a 108.452. Now, let's see what Walter Crankshaw will do. He will be the first guy to come across the line in a 1968 Formula 2 car. Of course, only 2 drivers in this class, but 2 drivers make a race. So let's see what sort of a lap Crankshaw can put in. Down the back straight we go. Is there a lift for the little kink? Yes, there is. Little lift, but gets it through and down towards the chicane. Of course, these cars very wafty, the 1968 Formula 2 cars. If you shift up a gear or down a gear, it tends to waft across the track a bit, as you saw. Big wiggle at the top of the hill. Also, I see some tyre marks there, so something's happened on that bit of the hill. Brilliant drift. That was spectacular. And the first lap from a Formula 2 car is a 1:38.687. Now, Parker Pennington is on a lap in his 1968 Formula 2 car, the one with wings. So let's see what he can do with this one. He's just coming through turn 5. Oh, runs it out and over the gravel. I don't know if Crankshaw did that as well. Actually, gets a bit rocky on the exit. We've seen already that the AIs don't exactly work that well at this track, so I don't know if that's just going to be a customary thing for Formula 2 cars to do, as he runs it out over the grass at turn 6 as well. We'll have to see. But anyway, down the back straight goes Parker Pennington on his first flying lap. So I don't know if he's on a lap yet. Is it 1 or 2? No, because Crankshaw's on 2 and he's set a lap, so it is 1 that indicates that they're on their first lap. Also, I can hear a 1992 car approaching as well. It's one of the Ferraris. Is that Sean Lacey or Gerhard Berger? One of the 2. Do they get past him cleanly? They do indeed. So jolly good. I mean, even Capelli is the other one. I believe it's Sean Lacey. Whoa! Big bump! I didn't see what happened there, but the front end of Parker Pennington's car bumped right up into the air, and he had a big spin. Crossed the line sideways, but was still only a 10th off his class rival Walter Crankshaw, who now comes across the line and actually puts it up. So Crankshaw goes even faster there at the head of the Formula 2 field. Who else is on the lap? It seems that Riccardo Patrese has given up on his. Oh, that's why he's had a crash. Unfortunately, I don't have replays, so I can't go back and check what's happened there. But there's obviously been some sort of accident there. Who else is on the lap? Is Capelli on it? Right, Mansell's crashed as well. If we see another AI... Oh, he's got going. He's lost his front wing. If we see another... If I see 3 AI cars crashing in the same place, I'm going to abandon this race before the actual race. Anyway, even Capelli through the final corner. And he puts it to the top. So even Capelli actually puts it a long way to the top with a 1:05.010. That's at the top by 2.6 seconds so far. So a very quick lap. Gianni Morbidelli has just started his first lap. There's debris on the inside of turn 1. So who else has had an accident? Bertrand Gachot. So Gachot has had an accident. Who else? Yeah, everyone else is fine for now. It does look as if this is going to be a pretty crashy one. It's that bump there, isn't it? That bump, I reckon, is what caught out Nigel Mansell. I hope that we actually get at least 2 cars in every class finishing the race. But if not, I might just go in for another race as well, load up a different combination, just so I at least get in a proper race in this live stream. I don't really mind if it ends up being a slightly longer live stream than usual. Anyway, down into the chicane goes Gianni Morbidelli. Turns 10A and 10B. And he's just coming out around the final 2 corners. Let's see what his lap will be in the Minardi. It puts him 3rd. So Gianni Morbidelli goes 3rd, and quite a long way behind Mansell in 2nd actually, but that's what we've seen from the Minardis, I'm afraid. Anyway, Jean Alesi is going to be the next guy to put in his first lap. So let's see what he does with this one in the Ferrari. going to ride on board with him, seeing as it's a qualifying lap. Oh, lovely wavering engine sound as he crests the hill and goes out and around the final corner. What was the lap? It's second, so just ahead of Jean Alesi. And those Ferraris are looking quick. Over 2 seconds faster than any other cars. Oh, there's more debris on the inside of that corner. Who's gone off now? I'm just going to check to see if, or is that just Gasho's debris being brought out? Oh no, Katayama's had an accident too. So Katayama also missing bodywork here, and that's a shame. I hope that, again, I hope that we do actually get finishes in the race. As Johnny Moore, but as Pennington spins again! Is he going to do that every lap he comes through the final corner? I'm not sure, but it looks as if he might. But anyway, the order with about 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining in the session is Capelli, Alesi, Morbidelli, Mansell, Crankshaw, Pennington, Gasho, Katayama and Patrese. Of course, Gasho and Patrese we know are not going to set other laps. I believe that Katayama is just getting his front wing repaired and he's going to go out again. But I don't think he's going to get time for another lap. No, he won't. So Katayama is not going to be able to set a lap in this session. Neither are Patrese or Gasho. So that means that the 6 that have set laps here are going to be the 6 who will set laps in the session. Pennington is not going to better his time this time around because he spun at the start of this lap. So let's watch. Oh, big crash! Jean Alesi's had a crash. Oh dear, what has happened there? I don't know, because again I don't have replays, but that's a very, very wrecked car, whatever happened there. So Alesi unfortunately has been taken out of the reckoning. Really, the only guy who can improve now, apart from Capelli at the top, is Gianni Morbidelli. So let's see what Gianni Morbidelli can do. Actually, is Parker Pennington? No, Pennington is not going to start another lap before the time runs out. So let's see what Morbidelli can do. Out and around the final corner in his Minardi, it's not faster. So Morbidelli does not go faster. And that, well, he's going to get another chance. So Morbidelli is on his final chance now as the timer has ticked to 0. So that means that all drivers, as Pennington pits, all drivers currently on a lap can set the lap. But after that, that's it basically. So let's see what even Capelli at the top of the order can do as he rounds the final few corners. Only right-handers to go for him now, and he pits. So Capelli brings it into the pits, and that means that Gianni Morbidelli is the only driver who can go up on his time. It's all resting on Gianni Morbidelli, but we don't expect that the Minardi has the pace of the Ferraris here. So let's see what he can do anyway. It will probably still be third. If he actually stays out, he might just abandon this lap and go into the pits anyway, like we saw Capelli doing. Let's see what he does. Oh, he spins it. So Morbidelli, I believe he was actually braking to go into the pits there, but Morbidelli spins it, backs it across the grass, and that will be the end of this qualifying session. So the order is Capelli, Alesi, Morbidelli, Mansell, Crankshaw, Pennington, Gasho, Katayama, and Patrese. Anyway, on to a 15-minute race. I'm just checking for YouTube comments. None yet. Feel free to leave one if you're watching. Actually, I don't believe we have any viewers apart from me. No, we don't, but never mind. This is, of course, just a portfolio that I run for my commentary career anyway, so I don't really mind if we don't get many viewers. But anyway, let's start the race. So what I do is I wait until the lights go out, and then I quickly dash back to the pits, pause the session, and then view it in real time. So now. And right, so let's see. So the lights are coming on now. And I can't see them, but they go underway now. So away they go. At the start of this race, it's a good start for Capelli, who moves over to block his teammate Alesi. Does he possibly? Also, Parker Pennington is getting away, definitely in the lead of the F2 class, as Crankshaw gets held up by a couple of F1 cars. But anyway, it's the Ferraris who lead through turn 1. Capelli, Alesi, then it's Mansell, Morbidelli, Patrese. Oh, big crash! Katayama and Patrese are both off there. So Katayama, oh no, that's Gasho and Patrese. So Gasho and Patrese have both been off, as well has Mansell. So Mansell spins, loses his rear wing. Oh, we might end up with a Formula 2 car winning this, you know? So the order now is Capelli, Alesi, Morbidelli, Katayama, Mansell without a rear wing, Gasho, Pennington, Crankshaw, and Patrese, who is out. So that's the order on this first lap of the race, but we have some slipstreaming going on at the front of the order. These are the two Ferraris. Let's see what Alesi can do. Can he launch an attack on his teammate? No, not this time around. So Alesi does not go for Capelli down into 10A there. And he might have to wait another lap because this is a very, very fast lap and you don't tend to see overtakes here apart from down into 10A. But let's see if he can launch something later on in the lap. Also, what's happening? Whoa, as Mansell spins it with his lack of rear downforce. He gets avoided though. Here come the Formula 2 cars as well. Pennington holding off Crankshaw for now. And it's still Capelli leading this race by 1/10 of a second from Alesi. So, Alesi just behind Capelli. If this was in reality, I'd bring up team orders and wonder whether that might be happening. But because this is an AI-generated race, there won't be any team orders going on, of course. Which is a benefit of AI-controlled races. They just go for it, really. But let's see if Alesi can get past Capelli with the slipstream here on this, the second lap of the race. Doesn't quite get close enough. Oh, he takes a look anyway, puts it up the inside, runs over the grass, and they both run over the grass, but Alesi gets through. So, Jean Alesi leads the race now. And let's go back for a replay of that, because I haven't got replay. Unfortunately, it looks as if he cut the corner slightly, but unfortunately the AIs are not going to detect that. Although his teammate Capelli did also cut the corner at 10B. Yeah, Alesi did cut the corner there. But unfortunately, I can't deal him a penalty. Let's see if Capelli also cut a corner. Did he? Did he keep within the track limits? No. So, they both went off there. And, really, that's possibly fair then. So, Alesi gets the lead. In a possibly slightly unfair overtake from Ivan Capelli. Parker Pennington still leading the F2 class from both Crankshaw. The real issues will come when we actually start lapping them. So when the F1 cars catch up to the F2 cars and lap them. Whoa, dear! That's what happened in qualifying, obviously. As the leader, Jean Alesi, clips the curb wrong, obviously, and the game has completely freaked out. And glitched him into oblivion. That's a hard one. Oh, as you see his engine cover going spinning off, but bang, there you see it. I'm going to show that in slow motion. It's just as he clips the curb, everything goes wrong. Physics gets really confused, and his engine cover goes spinning for miles. And let's see what even Capelli would have seen of that. Oh, he's lucky he didn't get involved in that, I tell you. He runs over the gravel, possibly slightly in bewilderment rather than actually a mistake, as Katayama gets over the curb. Clips Alesi's suspension component, but gets through. Morbidelli also gets through into third place. Possibly takes a bit too much curb there. Let's see if Gasho gets through nicely. Alesi not despawning yet, which is a bit worrying. I hope... Yeah, it looks as if everyone's slowing down in that area, so that's why now Alesi despawns. So, whoa dear! As Crankshaw gets very, very crossed up over the grass there. As we saw Pennington doing in qualifying several times. Also, Mansell has emerged from the pits without his rear wing now. He will be over a lap down, I believe. And it's now Capelli leading the race convincingly. I believe that the closest battle now, and actually one for a class lead, is the F2 class lead. Oh, as we see the F1 car of Ivan Capelli approaching these two. So let's see if he can get past them both cleanly. I very much hope he can, but then again, from what we've seen of the AI so far this race, I'm not sure. As Crankshaw gets over the grass, indeed, Capelli does get past them both nicely, jolly good. But anyway, as we round the back part of this lap, we've had our first retirement, or second retirement rather, because we lost Patrese earlier on, in Jean Alesi, who was leading the race. So bitterly disappointing for Alesi. In an accident that quite frankly shouldn't have happened as well. But that is the issue with AI controlled races sometimes. You don't know, unless you test them, whether they're going to work or not, and unfortunately it appears that this one has not worked. It's probably the track mod rather than the actual car mod. But that's just how it happens sometimes. Ooh, Pennington's had another off there, and Crackshaw also goes off. So that these F2 cars really do seem to be struggling with that corner there, the final corner, as Nigel Mansell has lost his rear wing again. Now, how on earth has this happened? So I'm going to go back in replay. It's happened here. Is he just going to lose it on the curb? Okay, well, he's lost it on the curbs, and it's going to be as he backs it back again. Yeah, we've seen this from AI drivers, I'm afraid, sometimes, who have just kind of misjudged how far back they're actually reversing. But you see how he lost it. It was just over the curbs, and he is actually behind the F2 runners here, so he wants to... So Nigel wants to kind of... Well, obviously being a bit too eager to catch them up again. Obviously just really not wanting to get beaten by F2 runners, and in doing so has so far crashed twice. Anyway, the F2 runners, whoa, are spinning. So Parker Pennington goes off from the lead of the F2 class and now drops behind Walter Crankshaw. So Crankshaw takes the lead of the F2 class, and we're going to see how that happened from on board. So let's see what happens to Pennington. Does he get hit by Ukyo Katayama? I don't know if there was contact or not. Oh, it was definitely close if there wasn't contact. But anyway, that, however, has cost Parker Pennington the lead of the F2 class. Here you see it from on board Walter Crankshaw as he just sees his rival going off and into the gravel. Let's. I'm going to watch it from on board. Oh, actually, Gashio's had a spin here. But anyway, I'll see what happened in this instance first. So Katayama goes through. It looks as if he just kind of intimidated Parker Pennington. There was not contact, so it looks as if there might have been. As you see, Bertrand Gashio going for a spin, just crossing it around at the top of the hill. There he goes. Whoa, that's a violent one. But anyway, still a long way ahead of 5th place, who is, of course, Walter Crankshaw. And the only other F1 1992 runner remaining is Nigel Mansell, who has had a... Oh dear, he's out. So Mansell unfortunately crashes on the way into the pits. Here's what happened. So it looks as if he's done exactly what we've seen some of the AIs doing on the way into the pits, and has just spun it at the top of the hill. And then in getting it going again, I've just put it in the fast forward a bit, he has hopped over the grass and gone into the wall. Unfortunately, I saw that coming. I knew it was going to happen at some point. But anyway, that is our 3rd retirement, and now both of the Williamses are out. So the Williams team obviously not having very good luck today, or rather good AIs. But anyway, Mansell has not yet despawned, but hopefully no one else will be heading into the pits anyway. Let's watch the F2 runners. These two seem to be quite entertaining. They've been off and on the track quite a few times. But anyway, Crankshaw leading this duo for the first time in the race, of course, as Parker Pennington only went off earlier this lap, and actually puts 2 wheels over the grass again, and has his big bobble. Like every time, it seems that every time he goes through that final corner, his front end kind of bobs, and he gets fired up into the air and then down again, and just kind of loses control. But anyway, of course, we've seen how unpredictable this race can be, so anything is possible for Parker Pennington here. He could, well, still get a class win. All he needs is a mistake from Walter Crankshaw, which might almost just came. Parker Pennington made a bigger one, though, running over the gravel. Now, around turn 6 at the top end of the course. Puts 2 wheels over the grass again. And around turn 7, I can hear a 1992 car approaching. And it's our leader, so Ivan Capelli is going to be the next driver to demote Parker Pennington. There he goes, nicely done. And now his next job is to get past Walter Crankshaw just as safely. Of course, sometimes that's difficult when you have such a speed difference between the cars, but he demotes him rather nicely there. So, although, how are the F2 cars going to survive the final corner? They're both going to go off again, aren't they? Surely. Yeah, there you go. They just really like to run wide there, but oh well. I suppose that that happens. Also, Gianni Morbidelli has now been demoted by Yukio Katayama. How has this happened? I'm going to go back on replay. Oh, Morbidelli's had an off, of course. That's exactly how it's happened. So, Morbidelli has just kind of... Yeah, he's just... Ooh, if I just go back again. He's just clipped the curb and gone around, really. That's how that's happened. And parks it in the wall. So, isn't out of the race, luckily, but has now lost his second position to Yukio Katayama. There you see the swap around. And here you see, in fact Katayama was a long way behind when that happened, but just kind of, well, gets through. Easily done when Morbidelli's off the road like that, and now they are actually nose to tail, so we've got an on-track battle going on here between Morbidelli and Katayama for second place. Let's see if Morbidelli's Minardi can demote Yukio Katayama. Takes a look, he's going to do exactly what we saw from the Ferraris, but doesn't make it stick. So he put all four wheels over the white line on the inside of the course, but it could not get himself alongside Yukio Katayama like the Ferrari of Jean Alesi could earlier in this race. Just going to check the order. I have a habit of doing this every lap now because I'm paranoid that something else has happened. We've seen a fair bit of carnage so far in this race. Bit of a kick of oversteer over the curb there from Katayama, and it's Morbidelli who goes into the gravel this time. It's always one of them. Always someone that goes into the gravel there, unfortunately. And that has given Katayama a bit of breathing space now. I've decided that after this race, because this race was so chaotic and because we haven't really got the race we've been wanting at all, I am going to live stream a second race. I haven't decided what yet, but it's going to hopefully be a bit nicer than this one. Through the final two right-handers, do they both keep it on the road? Oh dear! That's Parker Pennington. So Parker Pennington has crashed his Formula 2 car, and that means we have only one Formula 2 car remaining in this race, and Walter Crankshaw has won that class before the race finished. He just hit that. Oh, that's a huge one. So Pennington hit the bump that he's just been unsettled by every single lap. He's gone up on the two wheels and he's hit that pole on the outside of the track, the pole that holds up the Yokohama advertising board. And for a car that doesn't really have any inbuilt safety features, that is a hard impact. And Parker Pennington, unfortunately, is out of this race prematurely. So, another retirement, as Bertrand Gachot's pitted. So, what has happened to Bertrand Gachot? It's going to be another silly AI incident, isn't it? Have we already seen this one? Actually, he doesn't appear to have pitted for any apparent reason. He's had one of those customary spins on the way into the pits, but he hasn't. Actually, almost gets taken out by the leader there, but he doesn't have any visual damage, so I don't know what's happened there. But anyway, Gachot has pitted nonetheless, as I just get it back to real time. Katayama has a bit of a swap, and I believe that these two guys are still the closest on the track as Morbidelli spins. So Morbidelli goes around. How has this happened? He's just going to hit the curb and around he goes. So those frustrating curbs have caught out another driver, and this time it's Gianni Morbidelli. There you see it from on board. Really nothing he could have done after hitting the curb there. Really, these drivers should be avoiding the curbs. Now, don't hit the wall. He hit the wall. He just reversed it into the wall, as we've seen so many AI drivers doing. At this rate, Oh, I was about to say at this rate the F2 driver might beat someone, but he's in the wall as well. I'm getting rather frustrated at this, actually. Let's see how that happened. He's hit the curb, and it's just snapped around. So, another accident. Hopefully he'll be able to continue from that one. But this time it's a F2 class winner. I mean, he hasn't finished yet, but Parker Pennington, of course, has already crashed out, and now Walter Crankshaw looks like he might be about to join him. He can, well, he would be able to get going from there, but he appears to have stuffed himself into another wall. Yeah, bounce off that one. Good, good, get going. There he goes. So, Walter Crankshaw gets going again. Doesn't quite get taken out by Bertrand Gachot. Quite a surprise. As we are now 2/3 of the way through this race. Our leader, Ivan Capelli, now demotes Walter Crankshaw for another time, and Crankshaw drives off again. And we're about to see, probably, Ukyo Katayama pulling into the... or Gianni Morbidelli, rather, pulling into the pits this time, after the customary spin. Parks it in the middle of the road. Reverses it back, unnecessarily far. Gets it going again, and whoa, that was a close one. Oh, and he's hit the wall in the pits as well. I'm just going to watch that for on board Bertrand Gachot's car. What's this? Oh dear. Now that is an unsafe regen and a half. Of course, no stewards in this, so no one's going to ping him for that, but that could have been very, very bad indeed. And let's see if Walter Crankshaw can actually... well, actually, Bertrand Gachot is the next guy who needs to pass. Katayama gets it... past Morbidelli, gets it over the gravel. So let's see if Gachot can catch up Morbidelli before Morbidelli makes it out of the pits. He probably can, you know. Morbidelli will be in the pits for extensive repairs with his rear wing damage here. Also, is that the leader, Ivan Capelli? It is. So Bertrand Gachot might be about to get lapped for another time. The Ferrari just looks unbeatably quick here, with Capelli romping away with it. I'll probably just put a cursor on him. And is Morbidelli out of the pits yet? No, so Gachot will take 3rd place there. Indeed he does. Now, will Walter Crankshaw take 4th place? Is he on? He will need to do 2 more laps, so I don't think so. I believe that Morbidelli will be able to make it out of the pits before Crankshaw goes through in the Formula 2 car. It would be rather embarrassing for Morbidelli if he did get beaten on the road by Walter Crankshaw in his Formula 2 car. But, no, Morbidelli's made it out of the pits, so Crankshaw will not be made... oh, who's crashed now? Oh, it's the leader! Capelli's been off and Morbidelli's hit him! So, it's changed again! Oh dear, there you see Morbidelli hitting him. And let me guess, he's hit the curb, hasn't he? He's just exploded over the curb. Yes, in fact, he's had a roll as well. Bang! That is a huge one! As he hits the curb, and the car explodes into a roll. Oh, gosh! That is a really bad one. Ended in the gravel. What's that in slow motion? As everything explodes off the vehicle. Over he goes and out of the race. And now, Ukyo Katayama will... well, he has a long way to go before he actually passes him, but he will lead the race. And probably at this rate win it, but I've probably just jinxed him as well. Touched the inside curb. I thought he was going to go for a flip then. That would have been ironic. So, up the hill, he only has a few corners to go before he takes the lead. He's got Walter Crankshaw's F2 car in the way. Let's see if he can demote him safely. Oh, Crankshaw just putting it up on 2 wheels as Katayama gets it over the curb and takes the lead now. So Katayama takes the lead of this race from Ivan Capelli's smashed car. Bertrand Gachot will be the next guy through, but he is a couple of laps down. In fact, Gachot needs to go around one more time. Oh, he's gone off. So Gachot spins it and hits the wall. That's a new one. Haven't seen that happening yet. And we saw Pennington spinning in the same place, but didn't quite make it to the wall as Gachot has done there. But anyway, gets it going again, and has one more lap to do before he can get past Stephen Capelli for second place. And he might not do it, you know, because our timer is ticking down. So will Katayama win the race this time around, or will he get one more lap? Let's see what happens. Just coming around the final 2 corners now. Kicks it out and does get one more lap. So Katayama is on the final lap of the race now. Around the S's and he spins. So Katayama, I'm really not surprised anymore. And he's lost his nose, so he's going to probably finish the race in the pit lane, if he finishes the race at all. Come on, reverse it out of there, you can do it. I'm just going to go into replay. As Katayama just loops it round, as we saw Bertrand Gachot doing earlier on in this race, and then dumps it in the barrier. So Ukiyo Katayama has lost his front wing there, gets it going. There we go. Bertrand Gachot, of course, still a lap down. Does he loop it round in the same place? No, he doesn't. So he keeps it going. And the timer will tick down to 0 now. So Katayama only has to bring it round with that loss of a front wing. And I don't know whether his pit garage is before or after the finish line. If it's before, he will win the race now. If it's after, he will have a lengthy pit stop and then win the race. He is a whole lap ahead of second place Bertrand Gachot, who, along with Gianni Morbidelli, has now demoted Ivan Capelli down to 4th. So at least our podium position drivers are going to hopefully finish the race. As around the final corner and customary spin as he heads into the pits. Will he get taken out by his teammate? No, he doesn't. Come on, get it into the pits. There he goes. Does he crash it in the pit lane? Hits the wall but doesn't crash. Brings it around and crosses the line now. So Katayama does win the race in the pits, Michael Schumacher style. Gachot has spun and given up second place. Let's see how that has happened. It's just going to be another, yeah, just clips the curb and goes around. We've seen the Venturi guys doing that pretty much all race long. Round he goes, there you see it. And Gianni Morbidelli takes second place on the final lap. As Gachot gets going again. And now all Morbidelli has to do is bring it round the last part of the lap. So Walter Crankshaw brings it round off the road to win the F2 class. So both of our class winners finished the race off the road, which is very interesting. And we're now waiting for the second and third place drivers of Gianni Morbidelli and Bertrand Gachot to bring it round in second and third, obviously. Of course, 4th place will be Ivan Capelli, who does not finish. So only 4 drivers finish the race, and one of them in 5th place, which is quite interesting. But obviously this track does not suit these cars, with the curbs pinging these drivers off all over the place. And Gianni Morbidelli now brings it home to 2nd. And finally, Bertrand Gachot brings it home to 3rd. So, after a very, very chaotic race, our winner is Ukiyo Katayama, crossing the line in the pits. 2nd place was Gianni Morbidelli, getting 2nd place on the final lap. 3rd place is Bertrand Gachot, losing 2nd place on the final lap with a spin. 4th place is a very, very badly damaged Ferrari of Ivan Capelli. 5th place is our F2 class winner, Walter Crankshaw. 6th place is our crashed F2 2nd place, Parker Pennington. 7th place is our crashed Nigel Mansell. 8th place is our crashed John Alesi, of course crashed from the lead. And finally 9th place is our crashed Riccardo Patrese. So, that is the end of this very disappointing first race. I have not decided what I'm going to do for race 2, but I will decide now. What about one of the Top Gears? These are always good. R3. I don't know. Let's go to R2. R2 is a good track for this this kind of stuff, with the follow through and everything like that. Very high speed track. And what cars should we should we take here? I don't know. I'm in the mood for classic racing. Let's go to Spark F1. Only 3 cars, but we can duplicate them. So I'm just going to randomly select that one, and there we. I don't know why I went into the tuning menu, seeing as I'm not actually going to be racing this. But anyway, these are of course based on 1968 Formula 1 cars, and seeing as we have, I'll go for 10 opponents, so we get a race of 10 cars. That seems about right. Right, let's get this going. So I'm just going to check for YouTube comments. Okay, no YouTube comments just yet. To be honest, that first race wasn't very impressive one at all. I apologise about that. But anyway, hopefully we're going to get a better race 2. With 1968 F1 cars going around the Tiger Moth race layout 2. Of course, this based on the famous Dunsfold airfield. Famous, of course, for Top Gear racing, or using it as their test track. So, in this session we have Alex Berger, Jörg Belmer, Pete Aaron, Mike Shabadou, Kelly Pavlov, Simon Starr, Jean-Pierre Samata, Hans Samata, so the 2 Samatas, Max Angelo and Mike Johnson. So 10 drivers, and let's see who will be the first out in this 10-minute qualifying session. So, the 10-minute qualifying session starts now. The green light is showing at the end of the pit, and our first driver to emerge is Jörg Belmer. So, Jörg Belmer in the yellow Spark F1 car, just heading down this very, very long pit lane. And he will be the first to go onto a lap, providing he doesn't stuff it on the 8th lap. Let's watch this very, very fast Tiger Moth Race 2 layout from on board Jörg Belmer's car. So he can gun it down the back straight. A very, very 1968 F1 sort of track this is as well, so I think this is quite relevant. Breaks it into what would be a chicane if we were using either of the other layouts, but in this layout is a very fast right-hand corner. Now, slight lift through the back end, the proper back end of the track, runs it over the grass. Everything fine though. And now down to one of the trickiest corners on the track. Brakes it very, very early, but you probably need to in this car. Of course, 1968 F1 cars not really renowned for their braking ability. And now accelerating out towards the follow-through. Through the follow-through we go for the first time, nice and cleanly. I am very hopeful that we're going to get a clean race here. It looks as if we might do. So Jörg Belmer exiting the final corner and is about to go onto his first hot lap. So only turns 1 and 2 we haven't seen yet. Let's see if they do them cleanly. They do. So onto this first qualifying lap, and Jörg Belmer is properly on it now, as he accelerates out of the second corner and down the second of the 3 properly long straights on this track. You could say there are 4 long straights, with the one just before the follow-through being counted, but that's not a very long straight. Not as long as some of the others anyway. Drifting it around the back end of the circuit. Long corner there. And doesn't dip too well into the grass like he did on his out lap. So doing better. We've got progress. Around the tricky right-hander. Out of the tricky right-hander and then towards the follow-through. Of course, the follow-through in the actual Dunsfold Top Gear test track is doesn't have those barriers on the outside, so they're a new addition. You have to be wary of them, but still very, very fast. Anyway, let's see what his lap is. The first lap is a It's a 1 minute 25.687, so that is the first benchmark. Alex Berger is going to be second across the line. Where does he put it? He puts his car first. So Berger demotes Belmer. Shabadoo is now also on a lap. He's coming out of the final corner. And Shabadoo is going to cross the line to set A. He's actually being slipstreamed as well, so he'll be giving the car behind a real advantage. It's second, just ahead of Jörg Bellner and behind Alex Berger, but only by 0.014 of a second. I said ooh because as Hans Samatar came out, or no, as Mike Johnson came out of the pits there was a quite hairy moment. But anyway, Hans Samatar has been drafted onto this lap by Mike Shabadoo, so will possibly have an advantage on this lap. He's definitely had a jump start, or a push start basically. More of a pull start if you think about it, but anyway, let's see what he can do with that anyway. Of course on this lap he will be giving Mike Shabadoo a tow, so if Shabadoo is on another lap then this will be helping him. Of course, the difficulty with watching this is that some of the cars have exactly the same livery and number, so it's difficult to tell who's who sometimes. But if you keep your eye on someone, it's possible. Anyway, out of the final corner, he's going to come now, and let's see what this is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's top. It looks good. It's going to be a. I say A far too early. It's a long final straight. Oh, I tell you what, it really wasn't top. It was actually only third. So Hans Samatar goes to third there. Now who's ahead in this lap? Mike Johnston. So it looks, or Mike Johnson rather. So it looks as if Mike Johnson actually is he? No, Kelly Pavlov is a long way ahead in this lap. So let's see. What Kelly Pavlov can do. She's going to be the next driver to set a lap here. Of course it says 7th at the moment, but that's only because she hasn't set a lap yet. She's going to cross the line now and puts it 4th, so just ahead of Jörg Bellmer. Mike Johnson puts two wheels out onto the grass in the chase of Hans Samatar, I believe that is. But of course Johnson running his own race and on his own hot lap. Hopefully for him, trying to get a tow from Hans Samatar's car, and is in a good position to do so. Of course, these cars don't affect each other through the corners as much as modern F1 cars might, because they don't have the sort of aero dependency, although Johnson did actually have to brake slightly as Samatar went into the pits there, so that's going to affect Johnson's lap. Let's see what it is. It's 6th, so yeah, indeed, that puts him a long way down as he had to brake to avoid the slowing car of Hans Samatar, and that's really hampered his lap. Anyway, Pete Aaron now exiting the hammerhead and heading down towards the follow-through. He has not yet set a lap, but he's just exiting the final corner now, so let's see what his first lap is going to be. Not many drivers really running it out towards that outside wall as I'd expect yet, but I suppose there's nothing worse than hitting one of those walls in an open-wheel car such as this. 3rd place for Pete Aaron, so Aaron puts his car 3rd, and it's still Alex Berger at the top of this order. Mike Johnson is on another lap now, but I don't know whether he will pull into the pits this time round or not. Let's see if he does or doesn't. We've still got a couple of guys who haven't set laps yet. Jean-Pierre Samatar and Max Angelo have not quite set laps yet. Neither has Simon Starr, but he is on a lap at the moment as Mike Johnson is going to pit it. So Johnson not going for a proper lap that time round. Starr, however, is, because this is his first lap, so let's see what Starr can do this time around. It is wonderful watching these cars drifting, all 4-wheel drifting around the top end of this course. Of course, these cars were meant for driving almost as sideways as they were forwards. Very soft suspension they used to run, and you can see how the car is bucking and weaving on its suspension, how it ducks every time they brake, and how it rears every time they put their foot on the accelerator. And it is just wonderful to watch. It takes a lot of skill to control, I tell you. Down the back straight now, and going to set the first, or Simon's first lap. And it's top. So Simon Starr puts it to the top of the order with a 1:25.041. That's 0.037 ahead of Alex Berger in second. And that is a good lap. Now, only drivers currently on a lap can actually go faster. So, or not, no. I mean, they're only going to get one more chance. So no one in the pits now, because the checkered flag hasn't fallen yet. But no one in the pits now can or will get time to come out and set another lap. We're just watching Marco Shabadoo rounding the backside of the course. He, of course, will be going for pole. He's in third place at the moment, but second place. Oh, he's actually been demoted. Who has demoted him? It was Jean-Pierre Samatar who goes third. And Samatar will get one more chance at a lap here. Let's see what Shabadoo does. He is going to accelerate across the start-finish line. What's this going to do? It's going to be still fourth. So Shabadoo does not go faster. Simon Starr just exiting the final corner. He is going to pit, and I believe we might be seeing everyone pitting now, because we saw that in the last race. No one improved their lap after the checkered flag, and I'm wondering if that's something that the AIs just do. So I'm wondering whether the AIs are actually programmed to keep setting laps after the checkered flag or not. Of course they can within the rules, but I'm not sure whether they will. Let's see what Jean-Pierre Samatar does this time around. Alex Berger should pit this time around, because he only came out after the time was too shallow, and indeed Jean-Pierre Samatar does pit. So I don't believe anyone's going faster, and that means that the grid order here is Simon Starr on pole, followed by Alex Berger, Jean-Pierre Samatar, Marco Shabadoo, Pete Aaron, Jörg Belmer, Hans Samatar, Max Angelo, Kelly Pavlov, and Mike Johnson. So that is the order for race 2 here, and hopefully our first clean race. So let's wait for the lights, and then let's hop back and watch this race unfold. So we're just waiting for the start of... Is there any... Okay, so I can see the flag from here. We're just waiting for the start of race 2, which gets underway now. And it's a much better start from Alex Berger than it is from Simon Starr. And I believe that Berger is going to lead here down into turn 1. Indeed, Berger leads. So Berger leads the race from Simon Starr in second place. Then it's Jean-Pierre Samatar, Pete Aaron, Marco Shabadoo, Jörg Belmer, Hans Samatar, Kelly Pavlov, and Mike Johnston side by side at the back. So that is the order on this opening lap. But can Simon Starr slipstream his way past Alex Berger at the front end of the field? Aaron is going defensive as Shabadoo and Samatar go side by side. And Starr pops to the outside and now gets the switchback and goes through. That's a good move. Textbook from Simon Starr, taking the lead back on this opening lap of the race from Alex Berger in second. Now I'm going to pause it quickly, partly because I need a drink of water, and partly also because I'm going back for a replay. Let me just... Oh, my water is completely empty. Well, that's helpful. Not completely, I got a tiny bit. Anyway, let's watch this replay from onboard Alex Berger as he went defensive, possibly too defensive, and just left the door open for Simon Starr to go shooting through on the inside. There he goes. Bye-bye. So Simon Starr leads this race now on the opening lap of the race at Dunsfold from Berger, Aaron, Shabadoo and Samatar as we head down the back straight. Now around the very tricky right-hander, part of which is Hammerhead, this second part. Are we all still running? Oh, well, slow moving Kelly. Oh, as Mike Johnson runs off the track, but everyone is still running here on this opening lap of the race. So, will Alex Berger be able to get the slingshot effect and the slipstream on Simon Starr here as we head down the back straight? Pete Aaron is also trying to slipstream him. Down towards turn 1. And in fact, Marco Shabadoo has got up into third place, but Aaron is coming back at him. There's contact! Contact for third, but Aaron does manage to force his way back through, and Starr's been demoted. So Berger has taken the lead of this race. Now, I'm going back for a replay of that because I didn't see exactly what happened. So let's see this from on board everyone's perspective. It's interesting that the AIs do seem to brake. Yeah, they're braking there, so I don't know why they're braking quite heavily there before the line. But anyway, they do that. So, Starr gets demoted here by Berger, who also, I think, shoves his way through. I think there was more contact. Let's see. It's a very late dive. Yes, there was a bit of contact. So Berger makes slight contact with Simon Starr, but does get the lead of the race. Marco Shabadoo slipstreams his way past Pete Aaron, who I believe brakes slightly there. And gets up into... Ooh, there's the contact though, as Aaron comes back at him. Let's see, so did Aaron brake? Yes, he did. So Aaron braked, and that gave Shabadoo the third place, but Aaron launched his way back through. There was slight contact, but he made it. And that was the changing there. And now Starr is coming under attack from Aaron. So Starr and Aaron, in the identically liveried cars, are going side by side down the straight. Will Starr go too defensive like we saw Berger doing last lap? Yes, yes, he goes very, very slowly. Possibly has to, as Aaron is able to just carry the momentum around the outside as we go back for a replay of that. And Aaron pulls the move on his identically liveried rival, Simon Starr. Round the outside he goes there, and that, unfortunately, was a very easy move there. Here we see it from on board Simon Starr. He braked very, very early there. Knew he had to, otherwise he was going to run into his rival, Pete Aaron. And we are all still running, so that's good, as Hans Samatar looks up slightly, getting... I think it might be Mike Johnson there who had the slight lock-up. Interestingly... Oh, as York Belmer makes a move on Marco Shabadoo. So York Belmer up into fourth place now. And parks it on the apex. Whoa! Big slide as Jean-Pierre Samatar to get on the anchors to avoid Marco Shabadoo there. And what will the gap be for the lead this time around? Probably not much, because because Aaron will have the slipstream down this start-finish straight. It's going to be a 4/10 of a second exactly. So 4/10 of a second exactly between Alex Berger and Pete Aaron in the lead of this race. Let's see if anyone attempts a move down into turn 1 here. No, so it's all single file this time around. But Aaron is very close to the leader, Alex Berger here. He gets into his slipstream, pulls out of his slipstream slightly early there, gets to the inside. No, he doesn't. Gets to the outside and possibly tries to force Berger to go defensive. It's going to be a replay of lap 1, but with contact. That could have been very bad, as Aaron did manage to make his way past Alex Berger. Let's see a replay of that, as Aaron pokes to the outside, then gets the switchback. Of course, he would have seen he would have seen Simon Starr doing this earlier on in the race and tried to copy it, but Berger was slightly wiser to it this time around, but still slightly too slow. And Pete Aaron does lead the race. I don't know if there's any difference between the different livery cars, but it does appear that the two white cars are at the front of the order, and then 3 of the black cars are down the back of the order with the yellows in the middle. However, there is a black liveried car at the front of the order in Alex Berger, so that's not entirely true. Although Berger is pretty much the only exception in that. It goes white, yellow, black in terms of the order here. And if there is a difference in terms of the actual pace of the cars, then Berger is doing a very good job to stick with the 2 white cars at the front here. Down the back straight we go, and I believe there's about to be a move for 4th as Belmer is, well, looking to be under attack from Marco Shabadoo. The leaders got very close. Let's see what the gap was. It was 0.2 of a second, and Berger is going to be right in the slipstream this time around. So, will Berger do exactly what we saw happening but the other way around last time around? It looks very likely. Pokes to the outside and drags his way around. So it seems that every time 2 cars go side by side into that corner, it's the car on the outside who makes it stick. And Alex Berger is that car this time around, as we're a third of the way into the race. There you see him dragging his way around the outside of Pete Aaron. There we go. And that is Alex Berger in the lead of this race. So it's Berger first, Aaron second, Simon Starr third, then it's Marco Shabadoo who's managed to find his way past Will Belmer in 4th place. Aaron's really not given up yet though. Not close enough to launch a move down into the half hammerhead, I'm going to call that corner, but certainly got very close. Runs over the grass, as does Simon Starr behind him. And that's going to lose him a little bit of momentum, but still appears to be in the slipstream of Alex Berger's car. Out of that final corner now, and back into the slipstream. You can get a real slingshot effect off that very fast final corner sometimes. And that's what Aaron... Oh dear, that was Marco Shabadoo gets into 3rd place, but his 2 wheels very far over the grass. I'm surprised that wasn't worse. Actually, there was no room there until he pulled it, so that was a very opportunistic move, as Simon Starr actually braked there. Possibly braked far too much, but anyway. Marco Shabadoo now is up into 3rd place with a move that probably would never have worked in reality. The slight contact between Belmer and Samatar. And we have lost Mike Johnson, and that's a crash. That car is damaged. And let's go back in terms of replay and see what's happened there. It's happened down into the follow-through. He's gone to the inside. Oh dear. Really misjudged that, didn't he? So he went to the inside of Hans Samatar here. There was slight contact on the rear, and then he just hit the wall, basically. That was clumsy, I'm afraid to say. Just misjudged that. And let's see if Hans Samatar felt that at all. Bang! There you see. Of course, if you get even the slightest touch in this car, it can really unsettle it, with these cars being very, very light and very, very soft on the suspension. But that is our first retirement of the race in Mike Johnson here. So Berger is under attack now from Pete Aaron again, although for the first time in a while, there's no move down into the top corner. Out of the top corner and down the back straight. Marco Shabadoo holding on in 3rd place from Simon Starr, our pole sitter. And Pete Aaron might have an attack on Alex Berger here. He does. Goes around the outside, and that's a new one. We haven't seen that move happen yet, but it has done. Although Berger very nearly got the switch back there, and Aaron very nearly lost the move back again. But let's see how Aaron did it. He just kind of outbraked Berger to the outside. And it appears that you really do have to slow the car down if you are on the inside of one of these battles, and that means that basically whoever goes to the outside gets the move, and that's unusual because in most racing you see drivers going to the inside. Don't hit the wall. He didn't hit the wall, but yeah, we're seeing the outside come into play a lot today, and well, just makes for a slightly less predictable race. down the start-finish straight and into turn 1. Berger following Aaron. We're 7 out of 15 minutes in, so about halfway. And the pack is still very, very close. In fact, there's a move for third going on as Shabadoo is going defensive from Simon Starr. And Starr is going to go around the outside and probably get this one. He doesn't! So, for the first time in a while, he doesn't get the move. I thought he was going to go for the switchback, as we've seen happen a few times earlier in the race. But certainly attempted it and certainly didn't get through. That's very interesting. So, it's not quite as predictable as I thought it might have been. But anyway, good to see. Ooh, dear! Oh, Starr went to the inside and Shabadoo was not giving him an inch there, as he was entitled not to do. But let's watch that for onboard Starr, because I'm quite surprised he didn't properly run into the back of... Oh, he did! So there was contact there between Starr and Shabadoo. But everyone, or both of these guys anyway, still running fine in the race. And that could have been a lot worse. There's a very harsh metal sign on the inside that I hit in a Porsche once, and that absolutely exploded the car. Also, I see a move going on further back here. Let's hope no one hits the inside wall. They didn't. Oh, but someone hit the outside wall. That's a crash for Max Angelo, and the car's on fire. So that is a big crash for Max Angelo at the back end of the order. He's just tried to hold it around the outside of Hans Samatar here, and has just kind of taken it slightly too fast, and he's clipped the wall. And there is a big fire in the back of that car. Bang! There you see it, and that is a bad one. So, we've lost 2 cars from this race so far. We've lost Mike Johnson and Max Angelo, as Shabadoo is going defensive from Starr. Still no way for Starr to get through here though, so Shabadoo is defending very, very well. As we head down the back straight, what is the gap to the lead? 0.2 of a second again. So really, not much. Also, I believe that Max Angelo... Oh no, he has pulled into the pits now, but he took a long time to actually teleport back to the pits, as Simon Starr is coming under attack for 4th, as Aaron parks it on the inside, as he needs to do. Oh, contact for 4th! They get locked together. That could have been a lot worse, but Jörg Belmer properly muscles his way through, as Starr and Samatar go at it now. And that could certainly have been a lot worse. We've seen cars with open wheels like this properly flipping each other over in moves just like that. Luckily that didn't happen, as Berger pokes his nose to the outside, gets over the grass and has a bit of a slide. That rhymed. As he attacks Pete Aaron for the lead here. And will everyone make it cleanly through the follow through this time around? Yes, they will. Now, 2/3 of the race in, so 5 minutes remaining, less than that in fact. And really, not much chance now, not much more chance for Alex Berger to pull a move. He needs to make it soon, if he's going to make it at all. Takes a look to the outside, but doesn't quite make it. Of course, that was just a speculative move, really, rather than an actual move. Simon Starr has been demoted for 4th, and might well be demoted for 5th now, as Jean-Pierre Samatar goes to the outside. And does he get through? Yes, drags his way around the outside. Through he goes. Oh, into the wall! Another one's out! It's Kelly Pavlov! So we've lost our 3rd driver, who just goes... She's tried to kind of drag her way around the outside of Simon Starr there. Just tagged the wall. It was very, very close. I thought she was going to get away with it, but didn't quite. And unfortunately, naturally, Hans Samatar did very well to avoid that, as he had a wheel on his left and a car on his right, and actually did very well to slot his way through the debris there. But anyway, we've lost 4 cars now, so we're slowly losing the pack, and only 6 cars are remaining. Up the front, it's still close. Berger takes a look to the outside every lap they go through there. Oh, synchronised hopping over the outside line. And now through the follow through we go, with Berger still chasing Aaron for the lead. Really not many attempts to go now. Well, not many chances. Not many minutes, not many laps. As we cross the line this time, the clock is very close to ticking to 12 out of 15 minutes. And when it ticks 15 out of 15 minutes, that signals the start of the... or that signals that they are on the final lap of the race. Also, I believe Simon Starr has just made his way back up into 5th past Jean-Pierre Samata, and is now also attacking Jörg Belmer for 4th. There's a move for the lead coming on. Berger's going to the outside, takes the switch back, gets to the inside and takes the lead. So Alex Berger gets back through into the lead of this race from Pete Aaron. Let's see exactly how that happened. It's just he's gone to the outside and he's taken the switch back, just as we saw earlier on in this race, and through he has gone. Now, here's how Pete Aaron saw it, as he just went slightly too defensive, then left the door slightly open, and through went Berger. Of no relation to Gerhard Berger, of course. These just AIs, and Gerhard Berger very much a real person. But anyway, 12 out of 15 minutes in. The timer is very quickly ticking down, and Aaron has lost it pretty much at the end here. Although not for good, because if he can do anything about it, he will certainly be trying to. Actually, when I said 6 cars remaining, I actually meant 7. And we've lost 3 in Mike Johnston, Max Angelo and Kelly Pavlov. Down the back straight we go, and we're about to start our 10th lap of the race. It's a short lap here. 13 minutes in, and Aaron, oh, is going defensive and actually makes contact with Mike Chabadou, and now he's going for the lead. So, gets attacked and attacks at the same time and goes through. And I thought there was going to be an accident, because Aaron was being hounded that entire time. What Chabadou, as he touches the back, actually gets right under the back of Pete Aaron's car. And that could have been a lot worse. Here you see it from on board. Berger is just out of nowhere launches Pete Aaron. And Aaron feels the nudge on his rear and then decides, you know what, I'm going for this before I get properly attacked or even taken out from behind. And he makes the move stick. But Berger has the better run out of turn 2 here. So Berger is definitely in attacking position. Will he go through around the outside? They're going 3 wide almost. This is a 3-way fight for the lead, and Berger goes through. Contact! As Chabadou almost takes out Aaron. This is absolutely amazing racing here for the lead of the race. As Chabadou again touched Berger. So Chabadou touches, oh, he touches both of them. He touched Berger, then he touched Aaron. To be honest, Chabadou's being a bit forceful on this 10th lap of the race. He's touched 3 times in 3 corners rather. And well, possibly needs to calm down before he causes an accident, because we've seen that accidents in this category of cars can be very, very large and very, very ugly. Of course, no adequate roll hoops or safety cells in these cars, so not very nice to have an accident in. As Jörg Belmer bumps over the curb a little bit. Now, will the checkered flag fall this time around or next time around? I think it'll be next time around, because 14 minutes, I think, hasn't been showing for that long. Let's see as we cross the line. We are going to get 1 more lap of racing. So Berger crosses the line to start the final lap of the race, followed by Aaron and Chabadou. Then it's Belmer, Starr, Samata, and the other Samotar. So it's Jean-Pierre Samotar ahead of Hans Samotar there. And now down the back, or towards the top corner we head. The three leading cars separated by less than 0.6 of a second. And there's contact for the lead! My goodness, Aaron gets himself right underneath Alex Berger's car. And I thought they were going to both go off for the lead of this race. That was very, very dangerous. Oh, look at that, just lifts him up. And very nearly spun Alex Berger's car around. Berger did well to hold that. Whew. And Mike Shabadoo would have been absolutely rubbing his hands, hoping that Berger and Aaron both went off there, but neither of them did. Whew, that was very, very close and very, very forceful. But Aaron not able to find his way through there. There are not many chances at all left in the race as Starr, Velmer and Samotar go side by side, and Starr comes out on top of that. And I believe that that is pretty much it now, as no moves were launched into the final proper braking zone of the lap there. Will Aaron be able to slipstream Berger down the final straight and pull a move before the line? I don't think he will. So Berger comes out to the final corner and down the final straight to just about hold on for the win here at Dunsfold from Pete Aaron, Mark Shabadoo, Simon Starr, Jörg Belmer, Jean-Pierre Samotar and Hans Samotar. That was a brilliant race, making up for the disappointment of race 1. Unfortunately, we did have 3 retirements in Kelly Pavlov, Max Angelo and Mike Johnson, all of which missing one from wheel. A different one for Mike Johnson, but still, that, my goodness, that race was quite something, wasn't it? With Alex Berger just about coming out on top from Pete Aaron, who touched him on the final lap of the race. Then it was Marco Shabadoo, who had his own go at the touching kind of thing. Simon Starr, Jörg Belmer, Jean-Pierre Samotar and Hans Samotar. But anyway, that is the end of this live stream, so thank you for watching it. Join us next Sunday for another one. Oh, good to see that Lunoz is in this and has been in the chat. So hello Lunoz. He says I have a good PC. Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. Got it for Christmas, or as an early Christmas present it was. But anyway, I will see you all in the next live stream. So see you then.